What happens when we're complete? What would be the next thing?
Celebration.
Yeah, we want to celebrate, right? So we now get to declare 2016 complete. Can you guys see the screen online?
Yes.
Right.
I can see you.
You can see me on the screen. Isn't that fantastic? I can't see you anymore. I don't know why.
Oh, what?
I know, it's very weird. All right, so we're now going to declare 2016 complete. I know. It's just me being honest. We're now going to declare 2016 complete. Now, is there stuff still on your list that you may need to get complete about?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay? If you're a human being and you're in this room, you're always going to be getting incomplete about something. Okay? But you can provisionally declare yourself complete, which means I'm complete until something happens to make me incomplete, and then you'd be committed to getting it complete. Okay? That's what's great about this, is you can now use these questions to get yourself complete about anything. All
Sean,
right?
if you want to record this for somebody, you may want to press the record button.
Hold on, I thought I did that already, but let me go check. It says it's recording for me.
Oh, good stuff.
Me too.
Okay. So we want to share this screen.
You can see the little blue guy with the nail.
Yeah, do you guys see the little blue guy? Is that what you see?
Yeah, that's what I see.
Okay, good, fine. All right, so completion, you guys, only exists in our language. Okay? There's nothing you can point to and say, chair, complete. Okay? You can say chair exists in the physical universe, but completion does not exist in the physical universe. What are some other things that do not exist in the physical universe?
Beliefs.
Beliefs? Sorry, what'd you say?
Floor.
Thor?
Floor.
Oh, floor.
The chair, you said the floor.
Yeah, floor exists in the physical universe, right? You can touch it, taste it if you wanted to. Get down and lick it, but you won't. What? I know, I come up with weird analogies. It's fine. What else only exists in our language? Yeah, Jacob?
Feelings.
Feelings only exist in our language. They're not related to reality. Yes. Suffering also only exists in language.
Your thoughts.
Time only exists in language. Do you know we made the whole thing about time up? You know we created from scratch 24 hours in a day, so many days in a year, blah, blah, blah. That was all made up. It didn't exist in reality until someone said, oh, we're going to say a day is this long. We're going to say a week is this long. We're going to say a month is that long, right? And we didn't say they were like smart people that made it up. You know, well, the Romans started the Roman calendar,
No.
right?
Farmers.
Farmers.
3,000 or 4,000 years ago.
3 or 4,000. Different system that we now don't use anymore, but just the same, they created a system, a time system that worked for them inside language. And then what did they do? They inspired and motivated everybody around them to get on their page about it, right? That's what they did. Okay, and then the Romans came along and said, no. That is not how it's done. We don't care if your sunrise is this time and your sunset is that time. This is what we're going to do, right? We all saw how that worked.
And they enrolled us in that.
Well, they inspired us in that. And then eventually, right, you know, all of that stopped working and the Roman Empire went down to dust. But there you go. That's what happens. Trains?
Yeah, they were responsible for time zone.
They were responsible for the time zones. Very good. Again, all made up. What's something else that's made up in language that doesn't exist in reality? Processes. Authority. Empathy. Sorry? Thoughts. Good. What else? Emotions. Yes.
I don't agree with that. Because you can feel sense, you can feel emotions, they're physical things. They're not
No,
simply our thoughts.
Emotions are not physical things.
Feelings are.
Feelings are not physical things.
You feel it physically. but it's not.
There may be a physiological aspect to the feeling that comes, and it usually comes after the feeling, right? Like you have a thought, it causes a feeling, then the feeling may cause certain things in your body, but chances are the things in your body started first anyway, okay? But they're not physical, they just have physical representations. And if you're really connected to your body, those physical representations are very strong. I know, but we want to exist in reality. If I say, I feel hatred, No one can point to hatred and say that's hatred. It's completely objective or subjective, sorry. It's completely subjective, right? We say what it's going to be one way or another. Okay? But we're just getting all the examples. Possibility. Okay? The world of possibility is all in language. It doesn't exist in reality. Commitment.
Winning and losing.
Winning and losing. Very good. All of these things are things that we made up. Not bad, not wrong, not up, not down. They're just things that we made up. Completion is also something made up, and it only exists inside of a declaration. In other words, you are not complete until you declare yourself to be complete. You get that? Until you declare it, you're which? You're what?
Incomplete.
Incomplete, right? And again, not a problem. People go through their entire lives incomplete. Not a problem. They die incomplete. Not a problem. And then their whole life flashes in front of their eyes, they say, right? I don't know. Has any of you almost died? Right? Did you get that whole life flashing in front of your eyes thing?
No.
You were in a coma. Yeah, it doesn't count. I almost died, and I got like halfway, like my whole life started to flash, and then I'm back living again, and you don't get that, right? You know. But there's all these things. Until you declare yourself complete, you're just now incomplete. And it's not bad or wrong to be incomplete. You just can't create the clearing to cause what you want in a space called incomplete. Okay? It's like icing on a mud pie. You heard this analogy? The mud pie is the incompletions, and the icing is you trying to create a new life, a new year, a new month, a new day on top of incompletions. The icing will still taste great unless you try and cut into that pie, in which case you find out it's a mud pie. I did have one uncle eat that mud pie once, but, you know, I'm pretty sure he faked it as an adult. He's 10 years older than me, so I made the mud pie when I was about 4 or 5, and he pretended to eat it at 14 or 15, you know? That's an uncle who loves you, is somebody who pretends to eat your mud pies as a kid, okay? All right, so now, it's going to take a declaration, okay? And it's not going to take long to declare it, but we're going to want everybody to declare it. So everybody stand up.
Solemnly swear.
Okay. Repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
I declare 2016 complete.
I declare 2016 complete.
Everything I did,
Everything I did,
everything I didn't do,
everything I didn't do,
everything I got,
everything I got,
everything I didn't get,
everything I didn't get,
everything I should have done,
everything I should have done,
and everything I shouldn't have done.
and everything I shouldn't have done.
I declare it 100% complete.
I declare it 100% complete.
Okay, have a seat. Now, chances are, in about 5 minutes, you're going to be incomplete about something. Okay? But you now have the questions in front of you to ask to get yourself complete about those things. How many of you are here with other people you know? Great. Look around at those other people you know. Do not tolerate incompletions from these people anymore. If they're incomplete about stuff, call them on it. Say, hey, you know what to do to get complete. Do you need me to do the exercise with you? Okay? Do not tolerate incompletion anymore. Jacob doesn't tolerate it from me, and I don't tolerate it from him, right? He's the person that I'm in most long-standing relationship with in this room. Oh, no, maybe it's Ron. I think I've known Ron longer. No, I've definitely known Ron longer than everybody here. Yeah, so probably longer.
That's just a linguistic construct.
It really is a linguistic contract. However, Jacob and I have a long-standing working relationship where we don't tolerate the other person being incomplete or disempowered. There's no toleration here. If we're in a conversation and he says something that occurs to me like he's disempowered, all action stops until we deal with that. You get that? There is no level of toleration. Now, because of that, our relationship and anything that we're up to can move at light speed. Do you guys get that? Like, we move so fast in causing stuff, the two of us, because we don't have to actually get stopped by all the crap that normally stops human beings, which for the most part is incompletion about stuff, okay? So that's what we get to do. We get to declare it complete. Awesome. Any questions about any of that? Is there more work for you to do?
Yes.
Perhaps, right? Some of you are not complete on 100% of all those areas, okay? Your job is to get that complete before the end of the year. That's your homework. Doesn't that sound like fun? Do the work. Do it when you're traveling. Do it when you're on the SkyTrain. Do it when you're driving. That's the best time because, you know, rarely get interrupted. All right, moving on. Does anyone, Mary, can you move me slide forward, please? Does anyone remember 2016's game name? Nobody remembers what 2016 was?
I know what mine was.
What was your game name?
Year of Prosperous Beginnings.
The Year of Prosperous Beginnings. Very good. So every year what we do is we have a contest to name the year, okay? So we're going to do that work now. Why? Because we find it empowering to say, hey, that year, one year it was the year of up. The year of up. So it's standard for UP, which was Unleash Prosperity. That was awesome. Last year we created this game. It was the year of S&M squared. Okay.
I was there.
You remember that? Oh, now it's ringing a bell that I said S&M? Oh, interesting. Okay, which stood for Stupendous Success and Mind-Blowing Miracles. You can press the next button. Okay, the next one. That's what it stood for. Okay, so that was 2016. So we're declaring 2016 the year of S&M squared complete. Okay, and now it's time to come up with a new game. Okay, a new game name. All right, so now, interestingly enough, you're already in teams of people. Isn't that convenient for me? Huh? Look at that. Eric, I'd like you to join that team, and Terry, I'd like you to join this team. All right, so all of you all online, you're one team. Okay, so Chloe and Anthony and Alicia, you're all one team. Okay, everybody needs to come up with a team. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to brainstorm a name. Here's how I would suggest you do it. Come up with all the words that really light you up and inspire you first. Okay. Ideally, we want it to be something really simple. Can you put it back one slide, please, Mary? Ideally, you want it to be really simple, okay? No more than 1, 2, or 3 words. That's it, okay? A possibility for a year, a name game for a year that has more than 2 or 3 words in it will just be like clunky and won't work for most people, okay? So we're gonna get all the ideas up. We're gonna get all the ideas in. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to, when you go off to lunch, okay, you're going to think about which one you want to vote for, and we're going to do a group vote when we come back. Okay? Everybody clear about that? Okay, good. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to brainstorm, okay, all the different names, and then your group has to align on the submission, what they're submitting. Okay? So everybody's you're going to work in your group, you're going to brainstorm it, and then you have to get alignment for what your submission is going to be. Ready, set, go.
All right.
Sean, are you going to mute yourself?
Yes, I am. Give me 1 second.
All right. Wait.
Okay.
Alicia's in the midst of cooking something, but she can hear us and she can contribute.
Okay.
So, let's see. Names. I don't know. Any names off the bat that you can think of?
Let's see. Okay, well, what words do we like for like around creating and goal setting and achievement and
All the usual things, you know. Yes. Let's see. Names. Let me just type out some. Name brainstorming.
I kind of like last year's name, and I realized I wasn't at all present to last year's name.
Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
I like something along the lines of like having an impact on others, like playing a really big, massive game that's bigger than yourself. Let's see. It's not quite a name. It's just. Any ideas, Alicia? Ripple effect. Moonshot.
Moonshine? Why that?
Moonshot. Yes,
Moon what?
moonshot.
Moonshot. What does that mean?
It's like taking on a really, really big goal, like going to the moon.
Oh, okay.
So like back then when they declared going to the moon, like everyone thought it was something impossible, and so that term like moonshot or moonshot thinking or is kind of a reference to taking on something really big and ambitious that you don't know, like that you may not even think is possible.
Okay, how can we say that in fewer words?
Just moonshot. Year of the moonshot.
Year of the moonshot. Okay, so well, they're going to ask us what it means. So
And then we'll describe. Yeah, it's the actually. So Google actually is big on this phrase. So like all their big, very ambitious projects, like the self-driving car and whatnot, is part of a subdivision of Google that focuses on these so-called moonshots. So they're just like very big, bold thing, like ideas that can have massive impact in the world. And that may sound slightly crazy, but are actually, yeah.
okay, so year of the moonshot. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you got to be the one to explain it because I think
Sure. No problem.
you know it best.
Well,
I
mean,
really
we
like that. though.
brainstorming other things too. That's just the first.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what
Other
else.
ideas as well. Let's see. Year of the trim tab. It's like another. It's
Year
another.
of the what?
It's another analogy. Trim tab is.
Like you're gonna say trim tab.
These are my favorite words. So the trim tab is like so think about like a giant ship like the Titanic. To shift the course of the direction of a giant moving ship, you have the rudder, right? So that the rudder in the back is what makes it turn, but at the same time, it still takes quite a bit of force to move a rudder for a ship that big.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have a mini rudder behind the rudder that's called the trim tab. So when you move the trim tab in the opposite direction of where the rudder should go,
Mm-hmm.
that actually starts the process for the rudder to move. So it's kind of like a metaphor for like a very high leverage point, like a point where like a small amount of input can shift the course of like a giant ship or like a very big goal. So like if you apply the effort in the right place in the system, like you can actually completely change the course of like the Titanic with like a very small amount of energy on the trim tab.
Trim, what's it called? Trim tab?
Trim tab, yeah. TRIMTAB.
Trim tab. I like that one.
My favorite words.
Moonshot trim tab. I've never even heard those words before.
Trim tab takes a bit more explaining to do. What else? Well, what would you create if this like? What's the theme for yourself in this year? Like you're just thinking about yourself and what you want to create. And you were to kind of sum up, like what would be the general theme?
Well, this year is the year of me, so creating, and so it's the theme of, it's like the year of me. I'm like powerfully creating my traveling. Like that's the biggest thing for me this year is, creating that and going on my trip. And the intention of it is to, gain self-awareness, learn myself on a whole new level. And
That sounds like the year of discovery.
Yeah, I would say discovery and adventure.
totally discovery and adventure. Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. So that's it for me for sure. Discovery and adventure.
Eventually. Trying to think what it is for me. What is it for you?
This is delicious.
Is it the soup?
No, I made some produce.
Nice. I had those last night.
It's some sort of organic, healthy frou-frou ones that my mom bought.
What?
They're pretty tasty though. Yam and bacon.
Yam bacon. Okay, focus. Summarize your year. Uh, mm, mm,
I don't know. That's a good question.
mm, impact.
I always like the word unstoppable.
Mm,
Mhm.
I like that.
Unstoppable. Mm. I've actually done this for previous years. I'm trying to think of what. What were some of the- Let's see. Year of maturity was 2016.
Your maturity?
Like just because I was turning 30 and I was like, it's gonna be a different phase of my life. And in 2015, I remember what was it? No, I don't think that. There's something else that I created before.
Do you want to recycle a previous theme though?
No, I was just inspiration. Right.
I'm just gonna take this call really quick.
No worries.
Hi.
I like doing so.
How are you?
You consistently like moonshot.
I do.
Year of state change.
Do you use butter on this?
A little bit.
Just a bit of butter. It's good though.
If you don't like it, don't eat it. I don't know.
Personal mastery.
Yeah.
That was a. That was actually one that was, especially in like the last 6 months of my year, something that was very present for me. Being able to like really manage myself effectively.
Yeah.
But I think now I want to like be able to expand beyond that, like to take on a much bigger game, something that involves other people in building teams and like really having a measurable impact. Like having a flourishing business, having projects in the world that are real, tangible, like have made an impact in some ways, having built up teams and empowered people,
Yeah.
and aligned on a certain vision. Something about like stretching into like the uncomfortable zone and being able to just really grow and expand. I like this one quote. It's actually in that Tim Ferriss thing. But quoted Peter Thiel, and he's a VC guy, and he's saying, anything that you think will take 10 years to achieve, like ask yourself, why can't you achieve it in 6 months? And like, it's just the type of thinking that he promotes.
All right, guys, online group, what is your name that you came up with?
Not sure if we said, are we good with moonshots?
I thought it was moonshot.
All right, moonshots, the year of moonshots.
The year of moonshots?
Yes. So it's like back then when, I don't know if everyone knows that term, but back then when they declared that we were going to put a man on the moon, it was like an impossible goal.
Right.
But it's that type of thinking and taking on some goal that's like so
Way
far
bigger,
beyond
yeah.
what you think is possible.
Great. So shooting for the moon. Got it.
Yeah.
Moonshots. Okay. Exactly. So I'm going to put all of these up on the screen, and it will stay up during lunch. Okay. Your job is to write down your choice on a piece of paper and bring it to me so that I can get the votes. So here's what we've got so far. Okay. The year of wonderful, amazing prosperity. WAP. The year of GWAP. I think WAP and GWAP following each other is pretty cute. Either, just saying. The year of GWAP. Greatness, unleashing abundant pursuits. The year of unstoppable unts. Live or die by the unts. Momentous success and opportunity. Soar to success, or moonshots. And if you come up with another one before we go to lunch, we can add that to the mix. If there's another one that you are just like last year, we had 2 people that were just called to add in another one because they got inspired by something. Great. We're all up for that. Okay, now. Ooh, la. All right. So let's talk about what it looks like to create a new year of something. Okay? So can you, Mary, press the button for me? All right, so let's just take a look. Here's some basic statistics. Okay? Once more, Mary. So in the basics, you did twice. Look at how fast you are. So first of all, 80% of people do not even think of goals. Like they don't actually sit down to come up with them. They might come up with a New Year's resolution, right? How many of you have done a New Year's resolution? You come up with a New Year's resolution. Good. How many of you come up with goals? Okay, now just take a look. Leave your hand up and take a look around the room. Look, 80%. Actually, it's more than 80%. That's because you're a special group of people. 16% of all people don't write them down. They have a goal, but they don't write it down, which means 16% only have the opportunity, okay, to actually reach their goals. Okay? Yeah.
Because you got 84% who do write them down, if 16% don't write them down.
No, 80% never think about it, plus another 16 that don't write them down. So 96% of people do or don't have goals and they never write them down.
You get it? You add these up, they all equal to be 100.
Why not?
So there's 4%,
16% of 80%
I know, but we've-
who had goals.
No.
Because you can't have people who don't write them down if they don't even have them. Of course they're not.
Yes.
We could reword that. 16% of those.
Can you just make a note? We'll reword it just so that we have less Marys in our next conversation. Okay. Trying to make it complicated will not get you out of doing the work. That's how it goes. All right, 16% don't write them down. Next one. So 4% of the 20% that actually do think about goals, okay, 4% write them down. Small percentage, yes? Good. I see what they mean now. Now 1% write them down and review them regularly. And that's, I know it doesn't add up. Just relax, okay? All you people who are, Mary, stop going ahead when I tell you to, okay?
We give 101%, man.
That's right, 101%. So what's important to note is that all the work we do today will only be as valuable to you as you're willing to set aside the time to review what you wrote, okay? If you don't have a structure for reviewing what you created here today, okay, the chances of you actually reaching your outcome are quite slim. All right, so these are basic, and you talk to this is the 80-20 rule, guys. It's not like brain surgery, right? It's 80-21 in this case, but it's the 80-20 rule.
No, actually, it
Okay.
is 80-20 because the 1% is of the 4.
Yeah, that's right. We got it.
So 25% of the 4%.
Okay, let's move on.
Anything anybody else needs to say about these statistics, which are still accurate regardless of how you read it?
And that's why some of the people who set goals never achieve them. They're too worried about how they're actually setting the bloody goal.
Sure. So, guys, Jacob and I have already proved out the theories that I'm talking to you about, okay? And one of those theories is, okay, if you write it down and then you review it, you have a higher percentage of getting things accomplished, yes?
Yes.
Okay? Doesn't matter how you do it, okay? And we've also proved out that the more you plan and strategically plan things, okay, the actual less work you'll do, number one, okay, and the easier it is to fulfill on your plan, okay? So most of the highly successful people in the world spend 75% of their time planning and only 25% of their time executing. Now, Jacob and I are at a pretty high level, but I would say we probably don't even do 50-50 right now. What do you say?
60.
About 60-40 planning and 40% implementing. So our game is to get to 75-25. That's our game, is to get down there. But even the two of us who've been hard at work on that for the last 5 years still haven't reached that level of 75-25. 75% of their time planning, 25% of their time executing. Okay? Because the fact of the matter is if you plan it out right, you don't need that much time to execute. Okay? You really don't. Okay? If I took a look and followed you around with the camera in your life, I could actually add 75% more time to your schedule. If I followed you around with a camera and then cut out all the unproductive things that you do, okay, I will literally add 25% of time. Who says you can't add more time to the schedule? Who says that time is finite? It is not. Okay? Literally, if I followed you around with a camera, I could actually take out the times you're not being productive. Because who really does need to spend an hour in the bathroom?
I do.
Nobody needs to spend an amount of time. All right.
All the hair washing.
That's right. That's all that hair watching for you. Exactly. You and Andrew. So more time washing your hair than any other people I know. All right. So welcome to 2017. Please move to the next screen. Yay. Fireworks 2017. So my plan is to actually get you, we've already done the name contest, so move past that next thing. I'm going to give you the dictionary definitions, and I'm going to give you some stuff before I send you to lunch, because I want you to be able to talk about what we're doing for lunch, okay? Keep in mind, for lunch, there is McDonald's, there is Subway, and if you're willing to drive, Tim Hortons is just down the way, and there's a Burger King just down the way, and there's an A&W just down, like, across the street, too. So there's lots of nutritious food, and I would choose Subway if I was going to choose something. Unless you brought your own, exactly. All right, so first definition. That's right. First definition. Merriam-Webster defines creating as the act of making or inventing or producing, the act of creating, especially the act of bringing the world into ordered existence. I don't know how much ordered I'm willing to be on it, but that's creating. It defines game as activity engaged in for diversion or amusement, or a procedure or strategy for gaining an end. Okay, either one is fine by me, but let's look at the definitions that we're going to use, is these two definitions. So why when I created this workshop, did I say I wanted to call it a game? Why do you think? Because I did the Landmark Forum? No. I actually like the word game before the Landmark Forum, but I can get your meaning. Why would I use game instead of plan?
Well, game is engaging, it's challenging.
Engaging, challenging, fun. Yeah, it's fun, right? Do you ever see kids, when you say to a kid, do you want to play a game? Do they ever go, no?
No, but if you say if you want to plan,
Yeah, if you say, let's go plan blah, 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 they're like, no. But if you say, let's go create a game, right? Your internal child, okay, pops up and goes, oh, game, yay. Let's talk about a game, okay? Because we like playing games for the most part, and we don't like work for the most part. Is that pretty clear?
Yes.
Now, why is that?
Because God put us in the garden to have fun.
no,
Because God put us in the garden to have fun. Okay.
Garden of Eden, you know?
Terry, sorry.
It's
It's logical. Good.
psychological.
Psychological. Very good. So why is that? Why is work denoted to be difficult and games denoted to be fun?
Because we're programmed that way.
Yeah, because we're programmed that way. What did you say, Sandra? Because it's play. Very good.
And because we're all big kids.
And we're all big kids because one day somebody said work is hard and games are fun. That's all that happened. One day somebody said that and then it was adopted by all of society. Not in every society does work mean hard and game mean fun. There are African cultures that don't even have those words, either one of them. Okay? So we want to create something that's going to call you to be and be fun for you. Because who wants to spend all of 2017 working our asses off? No, exactly. We want to spend it having fun and being pulled into action because of what we've created is so freaking awesome and inspiring for you. By the way, it doesn't have to be awesome and inspiring for everybody around you. It just has to inspire you. Okay?
We'll make it awesome and inspiring.
Sorry?
We'll make it awesome and inspiring for everybody.
Great. Well, I'm not worried about everybody. I'm just worried about you. Okay? So because of that, we want it to be awesome and inspiring for you. If you then can, inspire others, fantastic. Okay? But you should know most of you are not the most inspiring individuals on the face of the planet yet.
That's what I am.
You are?
Yes,
Great. Okay, good. I'll trust you in that. Okay? But I know most of these other people, and I know you're not like this at least not all the time, right? Lit up and inspired and having fun and empowered, right? You're not like that all the time. The game is to be more like that than you are the regular, cynical, and resigned human being, right? That's the game. Okay? So there's a balance. Well, it's not that there's a balance. It's that you're going to be one by default anyway. Okay? Human beings are what by default?
Expansion prevention machine.
Expansion prevention machines. That's a great terminology. What else are we automatically by default? Lazy, good. We are. Human beings are lazy by default. What else are we by default? Unreliable. We're not reliable for the most part. Unless we've been trained to be reliable. We're not necessarily born reliable. Yeah. Unmotivated. Sure. We're not necessarily born motivated, right? Disorganized. Good. What else? Not responsible. Good. Yeah, we will avoid that. Because who spilled their milk? We learned that very young, right? Blame the other person somehow, right? Anything else that human beings just are by default? Sorry? Self-talking. Good. Yeah, don't we all have an internal dialogue with ourselves about 8 million things, most of which are not empowering? Because I don't know about you guys, but my identity does not wake Sean up going, Sean, you are amazing. You're so awesome. Today's just going to be wonderful. Go out, play big, have a good time. Woo! That is not how I wake up in the morning. No. Why? Because default is, oh my God, do I have to get out of this bed? I'm so warm. I'm so cozy. It's so great here, right? How do I know it's going to be great out there? I don't, right? There's just things by default. By the way, you weren't born with the default, right? It was programming and you got inherited mostly with your DNA. How many of you have a conversation called, I don't have enough money? Okay. That's a DNA inherited conversation as well. Okay. In other words, we inherited those conversations from our parents, who inherited them from their parents, who inherited from their parents. You weren't born with a conversation called, I don't have enough money. You weren't even born with the, I don't have enough dead rabbits. Yeah. It's all been programmed by your parents, okay? We were not born with those conversations. We were born beautiful little possibility machine, human possibilities, and then life happened, right? Happens in about 5 seconds out of the womb. Oh my God, it's cold out here. Put me back, put me back, put me back, right? It's kind of like that, okay? And we get to create whatever we want. That's the beauty of it. And the beauty of life is that we can continue to create whatever we want. So let's look at what does it take to create something from. So here's what I want to talk about just briefly, okay? The importance of visions, vision statements, and the differences, okay? Can you flip to the next one? So you are only as effective as the power of your why is effective. So in other words, if you don't have a big honking why for why you're doing what you're doing, okay, then you will not be able to actually complete and do what you say you're going to do. You won't be able to survive the amount of times your identity will take you out and sabotage you. How many of you, when things are going really well, something always happens to sabotage you? Yeah, right? It's a common thing, by the way. It's not personal to you guys, right? So visions are a way of keeping present or in existence that which is really important to us and what we want to cause, okay? In the end of February, I'm going to be doing a webinar all on visions, and I'll send you guys that information, okay? All on how to create powerful visions, what it looks like to create powerful visions, how to go about doing it. For now, I'm just going to tell you a couple things, okay? So first of all, what is a vision statement? Well, a vision statement is usually 1 to 5 sentences that describes who you want to be, what you value, what you want to do, and it's meant to be referenced daily, so it guides your everyday and long-term decisions, okay? A compelling vision statement is vibrant, and it will inspire you and those with whom you'll actually share the vision. So it's very vivid, okay? So I have some pointers on how to craft a vision statement that really works, all right? And again, I'm sending this all to you, all right? How many of you know the difference between vision and mission? Have you ever heard it described? Jacob, what would you say vision versus mission is? Just so people can get a grasp.
So
Vision is?
Vision is what you're creating and the direction you want to go in, and your mission is the thing that fuels it or powers it.
Good. So another easy way to say it is the vision is what you want the world to look like, right? You want to die having the world be this way, and your mission is how you're going to get there. Okay? So you're creating a future vision of what would your perfect life look like, and then your mission will be what are the steps or tools or things that you're going to do that is going to have that fulfilled in the world. Is that clear?
No, go over the mission again.
Yeah. So vision, creating what the future will look like if it looks exactly how you want it to. Mission, how you're going to get there. So for example, one of my visions is that the world will be in, people in the world will be in love with people. So ultimately, that's what my whole vision boils down to, okay? Just simple why statement. I exist so that I can have people be in love with people in the world. My mission is to provide products and services that empower people so that they can be more open to loving themselves and others. So one of the ways that I'm going to fulfill in that vision is by giving people products and services that empower them so that they can open up their hearts to love people. You guys get that? So the mission is how you're going to get there. How are you going to have that vision be fulfilled on? And there'll be a lot of different ways. There's no right or wrong way to do that, but that's what that looks like. Yep.
Just clarifying your parlance, vision is permanent forever. Missions are shorter term, how I'm going to act on that vision today with what I know and have and am. So there's
Sure.
the vision of going out into space and meeting all the other civilizations and being one universal community, but we're on a 5-year mission to go where no one's gone before.
Yes, we're on a 5-year mission to go where no one's gone before. Very good. And so that's the vision, right?
No, that's the mission.
Sorry, that's the mission, because the vision is to meet other beings out in the universe. You guys get that? Okay.
Create a global, or sorry, a universal community.
Very good.
But the mission now is to go to Klingon space and make friends with the Klingons.
That's right. Very good. You're so great. I love Star Trek analogies. They make me happy. All right. Anybody else a closet science fiction nerd?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I'm not in
good.
the closet, man. I'm right up.
Are you? You like Firefly? Because that's my favorite TV show.
Is it so long or no? Yeah.
No, it only had 13 episodes.
What do you say?
Are you going to say why it's your favorite?
Am I going to say why it's a favorite? Because my sister's on that show. That's why it's my favorite. She plays one of the actors. Yeah. She was on that show while it was on. Yeah, she's still on the show.
Magnetic media.
Yeah, she still earns money from it. So as long as she keeps earning money, everybody's happy. All right, so now there's your vision statement. Now my vision statement is actually 2 pages. Why? Because I run multiple businesses and I mention all my businesses and I mention a lot of things in there, okay? But no, it's not unfocused. It's longer than the average bear because I have more shit I'm up to. I play bigger games than the average bear, therefore I have a bigger vision. That's how that works. Okay. Jacob as well, slightly bigger vision, runs multiple businesses, right? Okay. If you have one business, you may get it down to a paragraph. Okay. Might work for you that way. Okay. If you don't have a business, it may be a paragraph for how you want your life to look. Okay. Not a problem. However, there's something that I call the Coles Notes version, okay, which is your why statement. So in other words, if you drilled down on your vision statement, if you wrote your vision statement was up here, and someone said, why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? And kept saying that until you boiled it down to one sentence and you said, just because it is, that would be your why statement. Why statements are some of the most powerful statements you can have. Knowing why you're on the planet is a gift for you for the rest of your life, okay? If you don't know why you're on the planet, please make a note of it now so that during our session together, I can help you get to the source of that.
Don't laugh.
There's a follow-up session for everybody, okay? I will help you get to that purpose so that you have a very clearly defined why you're doing what you're doing, why you're even sitting here on a Wednesday taking up your time and space, right? And I want you to know it's not brain science. Almost everybody's on the planet for the same reason. Yeah, almost every single person. They may word it slightly differently. But if I put up, and you know, I should do this. Once I'm finished getting all of your why statements, I'll put it up on that page so that everybody can see. I won't put whose is whose, but I'll put your why statements up there and you'll see they all have a same flavor to them. Okay? What do you think the commonality is between everybody's?
To help other people.
To help other people.
It's just worded in different ways.
It's just worded in different ways. Really, most people feel they're here to make a difference with others on the planet. Okay? But they word it differently, which is fine, right? But you'll know what yours is because it will elate you. What do I mean by elate? Lighten up, get you excited. Yeah, right? It resonate. It will like touch you. It will like, you know, be down to your thing. Okay? So it will beam you up. That's good. Having a powerful why determines how it all goes. If your why is powerful enough, it will withstand when you go into bankruptcy. It will withstand separation and divorce. It will withstand loss of a child. It will withstand, in my case, I lost 8 family members, I think, over 2 years. It will withstand all of that if your why is strong enough. In other words, you will survive if your why is strong enough. Right? Without going, you know, turning into a nuts case. All right. So one of my favorite ways, okay, of actually creating what I want to do next, okay, is called mind mapping. Who's done mind mapping before? Okay, good. Can you press the next one? This is what a mind map looks like. Okay. So you start in the beginning. By the way, I have a copy of this for everybody. Ron, can you hand out the mind maps? Because we just want to get down some of the basic stuff, okay? You're going to do a lot of work on this afternoon, but let's get you down just to some basics, okay? So here's what it looks like. You begin in the center section. The center section, what I'd like you to do is what's the category area of life, the main category area of life that you want to work on first, okay? So let's hear from the group. Can you keep passing that way, Jacob? Okay. So for example, Andrew, what's the main category area of life you're working on? Business, right? So in the middle section, you'll have whichever business that you're going to go to work on first, okay? And again, I'm sending these to you so that you guys can all print more off if you want to, okay? So that's in the center section, and I just want to give everybody a chance to brainstorm a little bit about what that looks like. So annual goals are one of those things that you can get really lost in the details of. Right now, we're just looking at the general overall aspect, okay? So in the beginning in the section, the biggest section, you're gonna put what's the area that you're at work on. So that's the first thing you're gonna do, okay? Then you're gonna put what are the 3 main things, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to do this, okay? Hold on one second can you scroll through until I tell you to stop? God, so beautiful. Eric, good job. Okay, so let me just see how I want to do this. Great. So mind mapping is one way to create that, okay? Another way to create that is something that we call a game sheet, okay? So I want to explain to you why I have and why I create with you creating a small game and a big game, okay? So the small game for your year, all right, is the minimum acceptable standard. In other words, the minimum acceptable standard for result. So let's say the main category area you're taking on is your business. So the minimum acceptable result would be, what do you minimally need to live on? So what's the basic amount? So I know what my amount is. Do you guys know what your basic amount is that you need monthly to live on to pay your expenses? Okay, that would be the minimum acceptable game. The big game is going to be minimum double the small game. Okay, so what I'm going to have you work on over lunch is creating some of what your small game and your big game would be for each of the category areas. Okay, so that's what I'm going to give you another sheet that looks similar to this. So just relax for a second, okay? So you're going to write down the area. You're going to write why that area is important to you, okay? Or what's the why in that specific area? And then what would be a small game result and what would be a big game result to cause inside of that world. You guys got that? Okay, Ron, do you want to hand out that game sheet?
There is.
There is.
Somewhere over there's a game sheet. Okay. Okay.
Sean, are you talking about
That was a fun
dollars, filling in dollars?
Yeah, well,
If it's a business, yes.
that's what's wrong with it.
Okay, but there could be other things that are numbers oriented for businesses. So let's say the small game would be, I need to bring in 5 new clients a month. The big game would be 20 new clients a month. Okay, small game would be, I need to network at 2 events or 1 event a week. Big game might be 3 times a week. Okay, small game might be, I need to meet, 10 new people a month. Big game might be 30 new people a month. Okay, it's very individual depending on your area. Okay, does everybody have one? Yeah.
Just want to be clear, because here's what I heard, all of what you said, but I also heard that the areas can be the 4 areas we started out with this morning, which were relationship, which
Right.
were financial. So, what's the big game in your relationship versus the small game? Small game is whatever it is. Big
So
game-
small game might be you see your nieces and nephews once a month. A big game might be you host an open house once a month where all of your family can come, as an example, okay? And don't worry, I'm here to answer questions, okay, for anybody that needs it, okay? So if you've got a particular area and you can't figure out a small game and a big game, you can come see me and we'll work on it together, okay?
Where's the why?
The why is, why would you even want to create a game in that area?
Why would you get out of bed and
Now, my why is the why for all of these areas. Okay, my why is people will be in love with people on the planet, no matter what. Okay, now I also have a why in the area of health and well-being that's different than that. Okay, my why in the area of health and well-being is I'm committed to stay on the planet longer so I can make a bigger difference. Okay, that's my why. The longer I'm on the planet, the more difference I can make, right? So all my actions in the area of my small and big game, in the area of my health and well-being, have that why in mind. Okay, why do you want to take on a game in this area? Why does it matter to you? Okay, is everybody clear on that?
Why do you want to make a difference?
Sorry?
Why do you want to make a difference?
Great, we could go there, but there's 8 million answers to that, and we're not going to. Because when I got to why do I want to make a difference, for me it was I just do.
Sure.
That's it. There is no other reasoning that I have to give.
Arbitrary.
Yeah, it's arbitrary, exactly. Okay, so you're going to go to lunch, okay? And in lunchtime, your job is to come up with your small game and your big game for each of the category areas. What would be a small game and what would be a big game? So I do not suggest you go alone because you will not come up with these on your own. Okay? Are you confused, Laura?
Well, it's not just me.
Okay, no, because you're right. It's not just you. That's why I'm addressing it, because other people are confused. So let's just do an example.
What if it was just you?
It's okay. Pick the toughest example you got. What's the toughest category area?
So we're doing it for each one of the categories.
For each one of the categories, you're going to come up with a small game and a big game. Small big game would be the minimum acceptable standard. So if it's in relationship, what's the minimum acceptable standard that you would need to have to maintain a relationship with that person? Even if that person is yourself, by the way. I had a lady do that last year. She goes, I want to create a whole new relationship with myself this year. I was like, fantastic. What would that look like on the court? I stay alive. Okay, good. That's one way.
It's a small game.
It's a small game. Yeah, small game is staying alive, right? Yeah, Lorna?
We're not doing the mind mapping, we're only doing.
You can use the mind map if you want. I gave that to you as an extra tool because some people find it easier to lay it out that way at first, right? As to what are the important things I want to cause in each of these areas. For some people, that makes sense for them, okay? For other people, using the game sheet works better for you. You get to choose, but your job is to come up with a small game and a big game for each of the category areas over lunch, and to choose the name for this year. Okay, which is WAP in your case. In your case, whatever it is. All right, is there any questions about what the assignment is over lunch?
No.
If you have any questions, please come see me before you leave. Okay?
How long do we have left?
Yes, I have a whole thing there.
And that beautiful smell we smell, is that food that's available in this building to purchase?
No. Okay, it's 12:43. Okay, I'd like you back by 1:45. Okay, so you get an hour for lunch. Okay, please be back by 1:45. And then we will start
At 1:45?
at 1:45 sharp. We're going to start. All right, anybody online have any questions?
No, it's clear.
Right.
Sorry, I just wanted to unmute myself. So we're just, for every single area, we're creating the small and big game as well as the why, and then we'll review them when we get back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, awesome, thank you.